Hi everyone. There is one question that I get asked all the time, and that question would be, can you suggest a doll or a company to me? I'm thinking about getting my first BJD. So my short answer is no. No, I cannot. So the reason that is because this hobby is so subjective, and your taste is not my taste. Even if we do have similar taste, that doesn't mean you're gonna like everything I like. And there's so many companies out there with different aesthetics, and there's some companies out there that I don't like at all, and I would never buy from. That doesn't mean you can't or you won't, and I think that's awesome that you might like something that I really don't like at all. So you should do your research and don't be afraid to maybe spend more money because that way you'll actually get what you want. So I have a cautionary tale, I suppose. The first doll I ever got was a Doll Zone secondhand doll from eBay, and there's nothing wrong with secondhand dolls. I would definitely buy secondhand again, but the reason that I went with this doll was because I looked at the company website of her and the owner photo that they had on eBay, and I thought to myself, okay, this doll's okay. I don't hate it. Let me go for it. It's cheap and I can get it easily. However, though, there were other dolls I liked a lot more, and to be honest, I really didn't like this doll that much. I just kind of convinced myself, this doll's tolerable, is really what it was. So when I received her, I was happy, but there were definitely more dolls that I liked so much better than her. And then I kind of felt bad because I had this doll that I didn't really like, but then I was like, well, it was kind of my first, so I think that's kind of special. Maybe I should hold on to her for a while. So I did, and then I was just really unhappy with her and did nothing with her and just didn't really like having her around. So when I sold her, I was able to get dolls that I really did like and just I felt so much better about. And I don't know, my philosophy in this hobby is to just find what you like and stick with it and maybe try new things. And I have a pretty moderate turnover rate for dolls, and I've bought dolls and sold them, and that's just how I roll, how I operate, and I think that's healthy. I think that's great. I think we should try and figure out what we like and what we don't like, and I think that made me enjoy the hobby a lot more. I definitely am happy that I didn't stick with something I didn't like. So with that in mind, here are my tips for you guys. Tip one, do your research. So you should check out different doll companies and check out all their aesthetics, check out what they have to offer, find out what you want. Do you want a boy doll? Do you want a girl doll? Do you want a fantasy type? Do you want a human doll? Those are kind of basic but important. Do you want a more realistic looking doll, or do you want a more anime slash cartoony looking doll? That's really valid too. So try to figure those out. Also, figure out what size. Do you want a really tiny small doll? Do you want a really big doll? Do you want something in between? And sometimes it's really hard to get a feel for what they might look like. So that's why going to YouTube is awesome, because you can see kind of in relation how these dolls look. So people will be holding them or putting them down or kind of comparing and having reviews. So these are really great resources because then you can see and get a feel for what you might want and what might be good for you. And another thing you should do is check out owner photos. So go to Flickr or DeviantArt and even YouTube also, and check out what people have done with their dolls and check out what their dolls look like, because photos on company websites or stock photos just can be misleading sometimes or not give you the whole picture. So when you go to owner photos, you get an idea for how the doll might look in other wigs or eyes or with other outfits or other personas, which is so cool and awesome. So that's what I always do when I want a new doll. I try and, see other people and see what they've done with that sculpt, because you can get an idea for what you may like to do or what you may want. So definitely do that. And then three is, like I said, money. Don't let money become everything. I know money is very important, and sometimes we just can't spend the money on something very, very expensive. But I do urge you to just not go for something cheap because it's cheap. Go for something you like, and if it's less expensive, that's awesome. But just make sure you actually like it before you purchase it. And another story I have is about my Volks No No Winter Smile, and I call her Miyuki, and there's videos about her if you want to take a look of her more in detail. But she was very expensive, and I never thought I would own her, and I'm just so happy I saved up the money for her because I love her, and I really, really am happy that I saved the money and bought her. So, you don't have to spend, exorbitant amounts of money on a doll, but you should just think about what you want and try and go for it rather than just taking the easy way out and getting something you're not really satisfied with. So those are my tips about, how to go about figuring out what doll you want as a first doll. I don't believe in starter dolls. I think that's stupid because, like I said, a starter doll may be cheaper, but you might not like it. And what's the point of that? I see no point in buying something you don't like. And one last thing that don't always go by, but the nice thing about this hobby is a lot of dolls, especially if they're in great condition, you haven't broken anything or anything like that, is if you get a doll and you say you really don't like it, there are ways you can sell it, and usually you can get at least even value for what you bought, which is nice, or at least a little bit under, if not even, which is great. So, you can go on eBay or Facebook or Den of Angels to sell a doll, and it's almost like no fear buying, sort of. That's kind of how I look at it, because it can be hard to sell dolls, but it's good to remember that you won't be stuck with something you don't like forever and ever. There is a way to move on from it and try something new. So that's my answer in a nutshell. Hopefully you guys took something away from that. If you have any questions, please ask, and I will do my best to answer. I will talk to you guys soon.